Ridealong Live, where everyone has a story to tell.
Ride along, welcome to the ride, welcome to the ride. Yeah, welcome to the ride. I'm sorry a little bit late, guys. I'm sorry a little bit late, but I'll tell a little story, boy. Anyway, I'm here. Better late than never, right? I am here. So it's 16 minutes late, so I promise you guys, I'll give you guys 16 minutes extra time. 16 minutes extra time, okay? I promise you that. It's a beautiful Monday. It's a beautiful Monday. Everybody, as you're coming, go ahead and share up the program, share up the thing. Let me do the same thing on my end, and then I'm going to big up the people who coming in. I'm going to big up the people who coming in. Let me see who they. As you're coming, guys, go ahead and say, I share. As you're coming, go ahead and say, I share. And I'm going to do the same as well. Let me share the program on multiple platforms. Keep sharing, keep sharing, keep sharing, keep sharing. I see you. I see you. Just keep sharing. Just keep sharing. And while you're sharing, guys, it's important that you press that love button. You hit that love button. Because when you hit that love button, what happens is that it tells your friend that you love something. And you know everybody needs to love something, right? So just press the love, press the like, just press something. And keep pressing it. Let me go ahead and share on my end. Let me share here. 2 more places, and then I'm all yours. All right, I'm all yours now. Yes. Just keep sharing, and pressing the love. Hey, Peter Mitchell, I'm off today. Hopefully, people behave good today. You hear that? All you better listen to Peter. Listen to Peter Mitchell. Hey, Patsy Emmons. Patsy, how you doing? How you doing, Patsy? Yes, thank you so much, Patsy. Share it, and say I share. Share it and say I share. Pearl, thank you for sharing. Pearl. We appreciate you. Thank you so much, Pearl. I share. Spice Sugar. Welcome, Sugar. Can I call you Sugar? Can I just call you Sugar for short? All right, Sugar. Mia John, thank you so much. I share. Spice Sugar. Thank you for sharing. Natasha Charles. Oh, so it's Peter that don't behave. So we got it all wrong then. It's Peter that don't behave. You see what I'm saying? That way it's good to have both sides of the story. So Peter, it's your behavior that's in question today. Hey, Junior Noel, thank you so much for joining. Guys, today, all you go learn something. Today, you guys are going to learn something. Yes, all you go learn something. You are going to learn something today. Promise you. So, about a month ago, right? We had this discussion here with Ms. Stevens. Remember the polygamy? So we talk about monogamy, polygamy. It's a lot of different ones, right? And she was so gracious. She told us all about her lifestyle. She opened up to us. She went in deep. And yes, we took every opportunity to ask the questions, right? So I thought it was pretty cool that if we get the other side of the scenario, right? Now, polygamy, which you're going to get a lot more information about, it's where you have a situation where you have one woman and multiple husbands, right? And as she said, she have more than multiple husbands. She have multiple husbands, and she have multiple boyfriends as well. So I thought it was pretty cool that we get a chance to speak to one of the husband. In fact, the first husband. And he's ready and joining us here to share his story with us. Listen, he also said to us that nothing is out of bounds. We could talk about anything. So we're going to talk about polygamy, monogamy, all of them. We're talking about everything today. Guys, I am happy to bring on the ride along for the very first time. He's a cool guy. His name is Mr. Stevens.
Hey, what's happening, my brother?
Carl E. Stevens. Carl E. Stevens.
Junior. How about that?
Hey. Yeah, man.
You know about being a junior, right? Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Oh, man. Carl, we are going to have a good time today because I like the fact that you said nothing is out of bounds.
Nothing's out of bounds, brother. We're here to do the work.
We had to do the work.
You and Kenya had a great show, right? It sounded like it was a great show.
Kenya is so nice, man. I had it real fun with Kenya. She was, and you know what? People keep asking, when are we gonna bring Kenya back? We're gonna bring Kenya back. I said, before we bring Kenya, I gotta hear from Carl. I gotta bring on Carl. So that's why I say let's bring on Carl today. Carl, once again, thank you so much for joining us. To open up the eyes and to let people understand a little bit more about your lifestyle. Again, we're not trying to convert anyone to his lifestyle or necessarily we're not trying to convert him to be like me or anybody else. It's good information and it's good knowledge, right? So before we go on,
chop it up. Just chop it up.
Chop it up. Just chop it up. Chop it up. Real stuff. Real stuff. All right. So Carl, before we go on, just tell us a little bit about yourself. You know what I mean? That just do the intro thing. Tell us a little bit about Carl E. Stevens, sir.
Yeah, so I'm a relationship coach and I'm a teacher at our school, the Progressive Love Academy. Married to Kenya for 25 years, 3 children. And, you know, my background is metaphysics. I've been studying metaphysics for most of my adult life. My formal education, I have an industrial engineering degree from North Carolina State and then an MBA from Howard University with a finance concentration, worked in corporate America, that kind of stuff. But I've been an entrepreneur for the past, 15 years or so. And, I work with my wife to spread information, to bring relationship tools. And we also write a number of books. So we've written a number of books. I've written 2 books about open relating. The latest one is The Art of Open Relating, Volume 3.
Mm-hmm.
Volume 1 is also out. Volume 2 will be out early next year. So that's what we do, man.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Give us some definitions, right? So it's good to understand the definitions.
Yes.
First of all, what is polygamy?
So let me go through all of them, okay?
Right.
So you have polygamy.
Right.
What polygamy means is one spouse with multiple other spouses, where those spouses are loyal to that one spouse.
Right.
In polygamy, under polygamy, it could be 2 different types of polygamy. You could have polygyny, which is one man and multiple wives.
Uh-huh.
Or you can have polyandry, which is one woman with multiple husbands.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that's polygamy, right? It's basically one spouse with multiple other spouses, and those spouses are loyal to the one spouse, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then you have polyamory, where both the spouses are free to engage with other people as they see fit, so they can have other relationships, or the couple can decide together how they want to do it.
Right.
And then you have open relating, where basically each person can just live the way they want to live. There are no rules and regulations. You love your partner for who they are, without judgment, and let them live their life, which includes loving you and whoever else they want to love, and they do the same for you.
And then you have monogamy.
Then you have monogamy, which is, 2 spouses who are together and they stay fidelitous to each other, and they don't have any relations outside of each other. Now, if they have relations, and let's say they allow it, like sometimes you see monogamous couples, they might try a threesome night or something like that. That's still considered monogamy, but not really. That's more considered swinging.
Mm-hmm.
So if you actually engage with other people outside of your primary partner, then you're no longer technically monogamous. Now, one thing I do want to clear up for you and the audience is, people assume that if you cheat on your spouse, then you're not monogamous, right?
Right.
And the truth is that's not true. The modern day definition of monogamy includes cheating. So the infidelity rate is above 60%, meaning the number of people who actually have an adulterous affair while they're married in a monogamous union is above 60%. So what's inherent in monogamy is cheating, is infidelity. If you hear about somebody cheating on their husband or their wife, like nobody's really surprised by that. Maybe the one spouse who got cheated on might be, but it's no surprise. Just like smoking and lung cancer, there's no surprise if you get lung cancer from smoking. It is what it is. You see what I'm saying? So monogamy does include cheating. And I'm saying that to say that because the technical definition for monogamy is that you love one person for your entire life, and that's it. And even if your partner dies or your spouse dies, you don't have a desire to be with anybody else. While you're with your partner, you will never have an attraction or desire for anybody else outside of your partner. That's the technical and scientific definition of monogamy. And I'm saying that because I want everybody to know and understand that human beings are not monogamous. There's nothing monogamous about us. We're one of the most promiscuous species on the planet. You can look at any science to determine our promiscuity as human beings. That's how we stay together. That's how we bond together. That's how we maintain community over the course of our 250, 300,000 history as human beings.
Right. So, by definition, which one are you on your relationship? In your relationship,
I'm open.
You're
So I
open.
consider myself to be an open relator. Yeah, I'm open. Meaning I'm free to live my life the way I desire, relate who I want to relate to, marry who I want to marry, et cetera, et cetera.
So why you got married? Because you did say that you're married to the person. Because I'm thinking, and as I said to Kenya in the first part about it, I think we all have this wanting to own or ownership, or wanting to say, okay, well, this is my husband, this is my wife, this is my car. And so when we get to a certain age, society, I don't know if what part of society, what history of in society is history that dictate that we should get married and procreate and have that one person that you leave and you create that bond with. But you are married, but you consider yourself in an open relationship. So why you get married in the first place?
That's a great question. For me, marriage is not tied to sexuality. And I think that's the trouble that a lot of people have is they consider sexuality to be an inherent part of what marriage is or relationships. And for me, that's not true. So the reason why I'm married to my wife, Kenya, is because I believe that Kenya and I love each other and are going to work and be together for the rest of our lives. We decided to raise children together. We decided to have a family together. We decided to, create a life together. And we intend on doing that. I think the difference between maybe the way Kenya and I think and other people is we believe that we can do that and do other things at the same time.
Right.
So, for example, if I relate with someone else, I don't feel that affects how I love Kenya or my commitment to her. I don't think it affects my ability to be a father to my children. But I think people have a hard time with that. They assume that if I'm having sex with somebody outside of Kenya, that somehow takes away from how I might feel about her or my ability to commit to her in a long-term relationship. And that's where I differ with the most of society.
But you didn't go into the relationship being that way. At some point in time, your ideology changed, right?
Yeah, initially we were monogamous.
Well, you said there's no monogamy. So what was that? You said that human beings are not monogamous.
Well, yeah, we were just imitating what everybody else society was doing.
Okay.
So our parents got married and they preached monogamy, and our grandparents teach monogamy, even though everybody was cheating on each other. But we just followed what society told us to do. So we committed to being in a relationship together monogamously, but our vows weren't around being monogamous with each other. Our vows were around that we would grow together, that we would work through any challenges that we had together, that we weren't going to divorce, especially over any kind of silly stuff. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
And so we have more of a spiritual union. We came together for a higher purpose, not to, just appease each other's egos or to make other people around us happy. We came because we know that we were meant to be together. We have work to do together, and that we love each other. And that's not going to change just because, she might have feelings for someone else or me, someone else as well.
Right. But what you were doing and what she was doing in the beginning of the relationship, you were kind of faking it
No,
to
we
each
weren't.
other.
Well, yeah. So that's a good point. But we really weren't faking it. So my belief was that after I got married, I wouldn't have a desire for any other women. Her belief was that after she got married, she wouldn't have a desire for other men. About 4 years into our marriage, she did have a desire for another man.
Right. And at
Uh,
that point, how
mhm.
did you feel when you found out, however way you found out that your wife now have a desire for another man? At that point in time, your emotions.
Well, I remember specifically, her telling me that, and I didn't really have any emotions around it because it was so far outside of what I understood. Like at that point, I've never heard of a woman who was married having feelings for a man outside the marriage. Like I know as I got older, of course, I heard about that, but being a young man, I just never heard of that. I didn't know what that was, and so I didn't have enough information or context to really have too much feeling about it. And what we ended up doing is we ended up going to our marriage counselors about it.
Right.
So we went to counseling. The counselors were like, what's going on? Kenya was like, I'm in love with this other man. Like I have dreams about him and I have attraction for him. What should I do? You see what I'm saying? Because
Right.
we thought that when you're married monogamously, these types of things aren't supposed to come up. So we were kind of naive in that perspective. But we were honest with each other. Like when she
So
had a
you was
feeling,
naive.
she told me.
You was naive that somebody could possibly cheat on you.
No, it was naive that we were naive in believing that once you got married, you wouldn't have an attraction for other people.
Right. Okay.
Like I wasn't even thinking about that. Like
Okay.
I've heard of cheating before, but again, like getting married, being a newlywed or whatever, you just don't think that that's something that's going to happen to you. You don't feel you're ever going to have feelings outside of the feelings you have for your wife. And it was just kind of weird when that came up for us. You know what I'm saying?
Right. 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 So she came to you and she said to you, I put it in very colloquial term, baby. I have another guy I'm feeling attracted to. Or I feel like I fell falling in love with him, or I like him. I'm attracted to him in some kind of way. And you're like, what? That can't happen. Like,
Yeah,
what is
like,
that? What
yeah,
is
like
that?
what are you talking about? What is, I'm like, really? You know what I'm saying? Like, what kind of feelings? Like, how do you know? Like, what's going on? Like, explain to me what it is. I didn't know. Like, what are you talking about? And again, see, me and Kenya were kind of naive. Usually, when people have those feelings, they don't tell their spouse. You see what I'm saying? They just keep that shit on the down low. You see what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
So, but me and Kenya, we were like I said, we loved each other. We were great friends, and you know what I'm saying. So whenever we had that kind of stuff come up, we just talked about it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that's how we got into the open relating thing. Is we're like, wait a minute, like this, we can't be the only people that have feelings for other people outside their spouse. You see what I'm saying? So like,
Right.
what is that? Why is that? And we started kind of going through this whole thing. I had the same thing happen to me 4 years after that, where I fell in love with this woman at my job. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like, yo, man. And I came back and told Kenya about it. Like, yo, I want to add this sister to the family, yo. Because I
What?
wanted to have multiple wives.
And she said
Like
yes. Like there's not a guy. That probably there are, but there's not a lot of guys that on this face of the earth that don't think that way. Like, yeah, I want to have 6 women in my bed. Yeah, yo, that's the ill.
but the thing is, here's the thing though, with us, Kenya and I were introduced to polygyny even before we got married.
Uh-huh.
So the couple that married us, it was a queen mother in traditional African tradition, and her husband and her co-wife were the ones who married us. And they married us in front of my parents, Kenya's parents, all, the entire community. So we were introduced to polygyny early. And as
Right.
soon as I saw that, man, I was like, yo, that looks like live like a motherfucker. Like I wanted multiple women, like multiple wives. Like, so we both understood that. Kenya and I talked about that early on. We had talked about that. And we were in a community where we saw it happen regularly. So we saw men with multiple women. So yeah, I was drawn to that. You see what I'm saying? We actually went to council to, I went to council to say, hey, I would like to add another wife to the family. And, me and Kenya went together, and the councils were like, they did readings and all that kind of stuff. And they said, well, we think you all should be married 10 years monogamously before you even think about doing that. And so, we didn't do it because, we listened to our counselors. But yeah, so that was our experience. We were monogamously married, but we had seen polygynous couples or, families.
Let me, guys, you're watching Right Along Live. We're speaking here with Mr. Stevens, all right, and he's giving a call Stevens, and he's giving us information. On the other side, we spoke to Kenya a few months ago. Now Carl is telling his story because it's interesting. A couple of you guys inboxed me in the past weeks, and you said you want to have this, you want to hear this. So I hope you guys are taking notes. Whatever part of it you're learning, consuming, write it down. Or if you have a question, you could also call in. That the number you could call in is 718-701-5720. That's 718-701-5720. Yes. So Carl, you listened to your counselors. You did not go ahead and proceed. Okay, we lost call there. We'll get him back shortly. Again, guys, 718-701-5720. That's 718-701-5720. We're speaking with Carl, and we just lost his video there. So we are going to try to reconnect. In the meantime, guys, if you have a question, go ahead and call. If you have a question, go ahead and call 718-70, or he's back. All right. Call you back?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, no problem. Yeah, so Carl, your counselor said, okay, well, you guys should be married about 10 years before you even think about going into that type of relationship. What was the next step? What you guys decided after that?
We stayed monogamous. You know what I'm saying? She tried her best to bury her feelings. I tried my best to bury my feelings. And we kept going. When I fell in love with the other woman, that's when we started like the serious discussions around it, because I was like, this shit is too strong. It's like real. Like, I don't feel like I want to not be with her. And so that's when we started the journey of talking about, well, how do we address this? You know what I'm saying? Kenya didn't want to be in polygyny. She didn't want to have multiple wives. So, one day she came to me and said, well, what if I had other lovers too? Like you can date other women, I can date other men. I told her, like, fuck that. He said, like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you must be crazy as a motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, because again, I never heard of that. I never heard of women who are married dating other men or being married to other men. Like, I didn't have a context for that. So I said, like, no, we're not doing that. So I said, fuck it. Like, I'll leave the other women alone, you know what I'm saying, in terms of desiring to add them to the family. If that means you're trying to have extra husbands or some shit. So I said no. We discussed it for a couple of years, and it wasn't until I came in contact with we were studying sexuality and tantra, which is art around sexuality.
Yeah.
And my tantra teacher explained that, Rakim, the feminine principle, it can't be caged. So women have a desire to be free, while they're also simultaneously being loved, being supported, being cared for. But you have to let women express themselves fully, even if that means they want to connect with other men or women or whatever.
Right.
And so because I had profound respect for him, that's what allowed me to reconsider Kenya's desire to be with other men if I wanted to be with other women. So after he said that, I was like, fuck, man, that does sound right. You know what I'm saying? Like, if I want other women, maybe she should be able to have other men. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that just shows you how like messed up in the mind I was as a man, like just not seeing even the equality, like not considering the equality of it. So after that discussion, and we meditated on some more and talked about some more, eventually we said, okay, let's open our relationship.
Right.
And we allowed each other to pursue other partners. I let her go first because I kind of wanted it more than she did. So, I supported her in meeting other guys or whatever and being okay with it and fighting through my jealousy and shit like that. And then after she kind of went, then I went after that, and that's how we started.
It seems like it's so. I mean, how you breaking it down? It seems like it's so easy to just transition your mind,
It's
but
not. It's not.
it's not
It's
easy.
not, man. That was some of the hardest shit I've ever done before in my life, man. Was to know that my wife liked other men or loved other men or was sleeping with other men. That shit is some of the hardest shit a man will ever put himself through. And again, the question is, why do I feel that way? And why do I also feel entitled to have other women at the same time? Because that's why most people cheat, right? They cheat because they want to have sex outside the marriage, but they don't want their spouse to have sex also. They want to keep her monogamous or keep him monogamous, right? So the question is, why do I have a mindset where I want something, but I don't want my wife to have the same thing I want? And so I had to deal with all that stuff. You see what I'm saying? Like, and it was mother issues. You see what I'm saying? Like entitlement issues, like all these emotions that I haven't really dealt with as a man, like, you know, not being initiated into manhood, where I'm going to allow my wife pursuing her happiness and pleasure to be painful to me. You see what I'm saying? Like, because I'm not the one that's a part of it. You see what I'm saying? Like, she can only have pleasure if it's with me, like a little kid that wants to take his baseball and go home. So I had to deal with that little boy within me and discover my manhood and be like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got to do better as a man, to not feel these kinds of emotions and jealousies and insecurities and fears, and that's all it is. It's all that stuff. And I had to learn to love myself more, learn to love her more, and, you know, learn to switch my mindset around the equality of the sexes. You see what I'm saying? And what it means to be a man.
I mean,
So that
like,
was work.
what do you get? What do you say? Well, I'm watching the chat as we talk here, and I'm seeing Rosa saying that is so wrong. People are saying, well, if you have to do all of this stuff, why stay married? Why don't you just forget about the marriage thing and just you date whoever you want to date, be single? That's the other option. Then you don't have any feelings to contend with. You don't have no feelings that would say, okay, well, somebody you have to come home at a certain time. You're single. So why stay married though? I guess should be the question.
Yeah, again, for me, marriage it's a commitment with my wife to grow together, to raise a family, to love each other for life. Like for us, marriage is a bit more serious. Like we want to stay committed for life and love each other. Again, most people get tied up with sexuality. The
Right.
issue with monogamy is like sexuality is the central theme of the relationship. Like everything their marriage is about sex, you know? Like the one thing that can instantly break up a monogamous marriage is you know, someone having sex outside the marriage or sending a text, you know, like, and that is like a really immature and fragile way to govern a family. You see what I'm saying? Or
Right.
govern a community. So again, if people want to base their love for their spouse on their spouse being sexually fidelitous to them, you know what I'm saying, then do that. But for us, again, we're these are solutions that we're coming up with for ourselves and the community, the Black community especially. There are too many single parent households. There are too many households where children are being raised in a single parent household because the parents split because the father got it, you know, got his dick sucked. You know what I'm saying? So the mother felt it was okay to break the family apart and to take the father away from those children. What Kenya and I are saying is that doesn't make any sense. It's immature. It's damaging to us as families and communities, and especially in the Black community, we're saying we can be better and more mature about how we deal with our true desires as human beings. Again, if you want to base your marriage on sex, then do that. Then be with your partner and make it all about sex as the foundation. But for me and Kenya, it's not that. The foundation for us is spirituality. It's love for each other. It's not about what she does with her pussy or what I do with my dick.
We got a call on the line. Caller live 718-701-5720. Caller, where you calling us from? Hi, go right ahead. You're calling from. Go ahead, caller. Yes. Yeah. Okay. Hold on 1 second, caller. Hold on 1 second. They're saying that they can't hear you. Let me make sure
Yeah, I
that.
can't hear.
Oh,
I
you
can't hear
can't
the
hear
call.
either. Okay,
No.
sorry about that. All right. All right, caller. Go right ahead. Go.
Yes.
Now I can hear.
And himself, his wife and himself, they made their choices, and everybody, God gives each and every one of us a will. We make our own choices,
Right.
and that's his and right choice, right?
Right.
But that doesn't make it right. We all can do something that does not make it right.
Yes.
And I'm listening to him, and I believe that, I believe in what the Bible says. They're married and they still want to have other people. To me, that's a no-no.
Mm-hmm.
According to the word of God, it is wrong. I think they don't have any self-control, and they're just trying to make themselves feel good about what they're doing and want to get other people on with them. And I think that they want to come to Grenada and pollute our island with, corruptiveness. God destroyed Sodom and Gomorrah for sexual sins, and God hasn't changed. He's the still same God. And he will be angry with Grenadians if these people come and spread their old thing here. And then people start, being influenced by it and start doing it. And I don't like it. The other thing, I listened to him, and I think he spoke very ignorantly and very, selfish. He said, you asked him a question, and he said, well, we know smoking, when you smoke, you will get cancer, and that's how it is. And while he is saying that, he has a big figure smoking, which tells me he has no regard for his own life. So that alone should tell people, why listen to a man like that? To me, all they care about, they have this drive to have sex with, see how much people they could have sex with. That's all. They have that drive, and that is something is wrong. There is some kind of insecurity with them both.
Okay.
That is why they're going on like that.
All right. Let's give him opportunity. Thank you, caller. Let's give him opportunity to respond.
Yeah, I don't have any response to it. I mean, she follows the Bible. Everybody interprets the Bible the way they want. I can interpret the Bible and say God himself is polyamorous. He came down and literally had a child with a woman in a committed relationship. Mary was already with Joseph. God, being all powerful, could have created a brand new human being who was a virgin and had a child with her. God of the Bible had a child with a woman in a committed relationship. Jesus hung out with Mary Magdalene, who was a sex worker and prostitute. And all throughout the Bible, they talk about men with many wives, including Solomon. So again, feel free to take the Bible and interpret it the way you want. I don't interpret the Bible in the way that she does. So I totally understand her ideology. Her ideology is very common. We should also note that the highest divorce rate is amongst born-again Christians. When you look at any secular group in the Western world, the ones who can't seem to get it right tend to be the ones who follow the Bible the most. So I hear what she's saying. I just can't adhere to a philosophy that has failed our people so often.
718-701-5720. That's our number here if you want to call in. We're talking about polygamy, monogamy. We're talking about the relationship, and Stevens here is giving us, his lifestyle. Carl E. Stevens. Now we heard from his wife, Kenya. She was on a few weeks ago, and this is the other side of it. Again, we don't want to be judgmental. Again, I am not advocating for anyone to change their lifestyle. I don't want
And
anyone.
also, I'm not advocating for it. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I'm not telling everybody they should be open relating because, as I said before, it's one of the hardest things I ever had to do. And the truth of the matter is, most people are not ready for it. They're not ready for it mentally. They're not ready for it emotionally. And they just need to continue to, be in their current situation, or even if that involves cheating and lying and whatever they're doing, and breaking up families. I think it's better for those individuals to stay the course that they're on as opposed to trying open relating. It's a very challenging lifestyle to live because we've been raised in monogamous culture. So we've been raised to be jealous. We've been raised to be about self. We've been raised to be judgmental. We've been raised to love conditionally. Monogamous marriage especially is based on conditional love. As long as you do the following things for me, I'll continue to be with you and continue to love you. If you don't do these following things for me, I'm going to leave you. I'm going to, to divorce you or whatever. And that might mean, again, ruining the family, leaving the children without two parents in the home. So when you're raised in a culture like that has you thinking immaturely like that, you can't just switch to open relating. If you want to switch, you got to just start studying it, like read about it, watch, movies about it or YouTube things and stuff like that, and try to understand so it makes sense for you. Read my book about the art of open relating. Read a book called Sex at Dawn, which is a New York Times bestseller by Christopher Ryan. Like, read books so you can understand yourself better and what plagues our society and what plagues the Black community. So like your last caller, like her ideology is very common. And that's where we are as a society. We actually think that way. We think that, loving someone unconditionally is a sin. Or we think that sexuality is somehow a sin. We think that coming up with a solution that keeps two parents in the home to raise their children, as opposed to splitting their parents apart, is somehow a sin. And so when you have that ideology, you should stay the course that you're on and allow other people who know that there's something not right with marriage. There's something not right with relationships today. The failure rate with relationships is probably around 90%. Not just marriage, but relationships, meaning before you got married, you probably had 3, 4, or 5 major relationships that failed. And those relationships failed, and then you got married. And for like 50 to 55% of those people, those marriages fail. And even though those marriages stay together monogamously, like I said, the infidelity rate is still above 60%. The sexless marriage rate is above 40%. The domestic abuse rate within those marriages is very high. I don't know the exact percentage, but domestic abuse, cheating, infidelity, like these marriages are wrought with problems. And you don't have to face that if you don't want to. I'm facing it. I'm teaching about it. But we need solutions for an institution that's not serving our people. We need to learn to be able to be honest with our partner. If my wife has feelings for somebody, she should feel like she can come to me and talk about it. If I have feelings for somebody, I should be able to go to my wife and talk to her about it, not just go cheat on her behind her back. And for some reason, we're thinking that to go cheat and to lie to your spouse is normal. And that's a better way to be inside of a relationship and marriage. And somehow that's a great excuse and great example to set for your children and the rest of society. What Ken and I are saying is, no, that's not. You see what I'm saying? Like, it's better to be honest about who you are, what you desire, and to learn to accept it. Like I said in the beginning of the podcast, human beings are not monogamous, period, point blank. Just because we have a small fraction of people who suppress their sexuality and are in turn angry and, whatever going on with them doesn't mean that that's a solution for all human beings. It's not. We are a social, gregarious species. The way we bond and the way we maintain family and community is through intimacy with each other, which in some cases includes sexuality. That's just facts, period. And that's the history of who we've been. The monogamous thing is only in the past 8,000 to 10,000 years. The other 250 to 280,000 years of our existence as human beings was egalitarian. That's what the archaeology shows, which means what? We shared everything, including our sexuality. We didn't have the hangups that we do today around sexuality. It's a disease of the mind. Stop it. You see what I'm saying? Like, sex is not evil. Sex is not a sin. Okay? It's okay to love other people besides your spouse. Just like it's okay to love all three of your children and not just one of them. You can love multiple people. We need that as a Black family. We need community again. We need to love all of ourselves. All the men have to come together and love and protect all women. All the women have to come together and honor and respect all men. And all the men and all the women in the community have to come together and raise all the children. That is our history as African people and as sane human beings. This nuclear family stuff and splitting us up into small groups and thinking that's going to work, it has never worked and will never work.
Well, you said a lot there, and I want to go into a couple of things that you're saying there. All of these people coming together and having this relationship of sexual nature, because sex is a part of the relation.
Sure.
What about STDs? What about everything else, unwanted things that might accompany being in that type of relationship where it's, I mean, you being promiscuous. I mean, not, well, not, you haven't said.
You can say it that way. You can say it that way. I'm fine with it.
Right. Okay. So, I guess my question is, you are basically advocating for that type of lifestyle. The question is, why can't you, if you have a problem within your relationship or you have a issue, a situation, why not advocate for communication, better communication, where the wife and the husband could communicate and come to some kind of resolution or some kind of probably we're just not right to be together. Probably what your needs are not what I need, what my needs are.
But that's what we're saying. So what we're saying is that our lifestyle, it involves honest communication. That's how we got to this lifestyle. See, what we're saying is monogamy advocates lying to your spouse. You see what I'm saying? Like, for example, one of my clients was upset because her ex-boyfriend got engaged and was getting ready to get married. And she loved him deeply. And she was upset about it and sad about it. It was one of her best sexual partners in all of her life, but she couldn't tell her husband that. So that's what we're saying. You understand? Right. Why can't a woman talk to her husband about how she really feels? And we're saying that's monogamous culture. Now, in open relating culture, I can tell my wife anything. You know what I'm saying? Like, my wife can tell me anything and I still love and accept her. Like, we're trying to move towards sanity here. You see what I'm saying? Now, look, now monogamy includes dishonest communication. Open relating includes honest communication. So that's what we're trying to get to. We're just saying, look, let's start with honest communication. We're not starting with open relating. We don't want people to go date other people. Like, don't do that.
Okay.
Step number one is, and I talk about this in my book, The Art of Open Relating, Volume 1. Step one is, let's learn to tell each other the truth about how we really feel.
Right.
And if we can do that, then we're going to increase the love and intimacy inside our own marriage. See, do you understand the percentage of women in marriage right now who are faking orgasms during sex with their husband? You know what I'm saying? Like, do you understand the number of men right now who are married who have a sincere love and attraction for other women and they can't tell their wife about it? Do you understand that people want to communicate things? They're having problems and issues that they can't communicate with their own spouse. And let me go here. Okay. This is a serious problem. People talk about they want to resolve, rape culture. Rape culture is a part of monogamous culture. And the reason why is because we train people and our children to not trust each other. So again, people don't understand that this is insane. It's insane for a child to be molested or sexually harmed in a way. And
Right.
for that child, whether they're a teenager or a young adult, that child doesn't feel confident and connected enough to their parents to tell them about it. And the question is, why does that exist? That exists because parents who are trained in monogamous culture encourage their children to not tell the truth about themselves and to do what they do with each other and lie to each other. That is insanity. The reason why rape culture exists is because lying culture exists. Because people are training each other and their kids to not tell the truth. Have you heard of the comedian Richard Pryor before?
Yes.
He had a famous joke, right? His joke was this. He said his father came to him one day and said, "Boy, don't you ever eat no pussy." And Richard Pryor said, "I couldn't wait to eat the pussy because my dad had been wrong about everything else." You see what I'm saying? Like, that's the culture. So basically what your parents tell you not to do, that is the gold. You see what I'm saying? Because they're lying. And you, as a child, they're lying. Why are kids learning from each other about sex and not their parents or adults? Because we don't trust our damn parents because they're lying to us. You guys are unhappy. You guys are upset. Dad's cheating on you. You guys aren't having sex. And you want me to come to you with my problems? You want me to come to you to learn about sex and relationships? Fuck y'all. I'm going to go talk to my boys. You see what I'm saying? Or I'm going to go watch a movie and try to figure it out. I'm not talking to my parents. Somebody touches me inappropriately and my parents are all sexually frustrated and never talk to me about sex and they're not open about their sexuality. I'm supposed to go talk to y'all closed motherfuckers about it? Fuck y'all. I'm not telling you about it. You're the last people I'm telling about it. The last thing I want is my name blasted in the church talking about I was sexually molested or whatever. So the entire adult population can shame me. Fuck y'all motherfuckers. You see what I'm saying? That's monogamous culture.
I guess it's a tad bit late to say that. Some of them are family shows, so we want to kind of keep it in minus a lot of the cursing. I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry about that.
No problem.
I just keep it real, brother.
Yeah. I understand. But the question I wanted to ask you, is to do with the STDs. How do you regulate and ensure that you're not transmitting STDs from partner to partner by having multiple partners that you're openly having sex with?
Again, in polyamory and open relating, what do we have? We've got open communication. Okay, so we actually talk about it, as opposed to, people in monogamy cheating on the down low. They're probably not talking about it. So, for example, I said that the infidelity rate is 66% in monogamous marriages, right? That means 66% of spouses are cheating on their other spouse. Now, do you believe those spouses are talking to their husbands or wives about their sexual exploits? The answer is no. And that's why STDs run highest in monogamous culture than it does in polyamorous or open culture. Period, point blank. Okay. We talk to each other. You know what I'm saying? Like my partner, I had a prospective partner, and she just told me her whole sexual history. I can talk about my sexual history. We can talk about that shit.
Right.
Monogamous people can't talk about it. So that's a problem for y'all, not for me. You see what I'm saying? Everybody knows that everybody knows my sexual history. They know about what I'm doing. My wife knows what I'm doing. Do you know what your wife is doing? Do you know what your husband is doing? The answer is probably no.
Interesting stuff.
Again, we're talking about honesty here. Just real communication. Why are we being ashamed to be human beings and to talk about the real deal of who we are? If you can be honest, and those things you're talking about go away.
The hardest part, I think, for anyone to understand or come to the realization or the consciousness is that your wife is also married to somebody else. So right now she's probably cuddling up in bed with another man, and just getting that into anyone's head is difficult.
Yeah,
that's
I agree.
The part to understand.
I understand, brother. Trust me. I empathize with people who are listening to me speak right now. I understand I'm triggering them. I understand they're hearing what I'm saying and saying that is not right. Or that is too difficult, or I would never allow my wife to do that. I would never let my husband do that. Trust me, I get it. I used to be that person. Your audience, I used to be them. So I know how it looks. I understand. And it is a mindset switch. Just like being an entrepreneur, if you want to be a multimillionaire, multi-billionaire, guess what? It's a major mindset switch. But that's what life is about. Life is about making a mindset switch. It's saying, you know what? There might be a more intelligent way for me to be as a man, as a woman, as a business person, entrepreneur, whatever. Let me stretch my current belief system outside what it is right now. And I
Right.
know it's tough, it's difficult. Nobody wants to start from scratch and go through the pain of learning and having their old paradigm of thoughts and philosophies torn down. I've been there, brother. Like I told you, this is very hard. It's not easy. You see what I'm saying? So yes, it's a mindset switch. People are not going to like it. Some people are already there. They're cool with it, but most people in monogamous culture are not going to like it. I get that. What I'm telling you is that for the benefit of your children, I would try to understand it at the very least. Not do it, but understand it. And I would talk to your children and say, look, when you become an adult, you're going to have some feelings and emotions that are going to contradict what society says you should have, or
Right.
what you even want to have. Do you think I want to have feelings for other women? Do you think my wife wants to have feelings for other men? Do you think anybody married wants to have attractions to other people? No, we want to stay loyal. We want to love our wives and our husbands and be passionately in love with them and have sex every day or every other day with them. That's what we want. But guess what? We're human beings and we're not wired that way. And we have to be honest with that. And we got to tell our children, look, if there's one thing that you do in your whole life, do not compromise your true, authentic self, your true, authentic desires. Don't lie to anybody about who you are. You tell the truth about who you are, what you want. I don't care if it's business and you signed a contract and you like halfway through, you say, you know what? I don't want this contract anymore. You know what I'm saying? You let people know, I don't want this contract. Same thing in a relationship. If you don't love your wife anymore or your husband, you tell them. You talk about, why your feelings changed or how they changed or whatever. And you have that conversation. Don't fake it. Don't lie. Again, monogamous culture is not cool, man. Lying and cheating is not cool. We can do better as men. The man, in African culture, we have different traditions. One of them is our Kemetic or ancient Egyptian tradition. And we have deities like Horus or Heru and Shango.
Mm-hmm.
And they're the king. You see what I'm saying? They represent kingship and manhood. Man, as men, we shine like the sun. Everything I do is going to be in front of the entire world. That's what manhood is. I'm going to shine like the sun. The king lion, you see what I'm saying? He's having sex with multiple women. And is he hiding that fact? Is he cheating? No, he's saying, these are my women. I'm taking care of them. I'm protecting them. And if anybody got an issue with it, come see me. That's what manhood is. If you're lying and cheating and on the down low, you're compromising your masculinity as a man. You see what I'm saying? And I'm inviting men to step into something higher. You see what I'm saying?
Right. What about, and I think, that plus a couple other things I want to touch on, but I'm looking at the time. What would you say to men, right, to better sexually provide for the women? What are some of the things that you learned through your transitional period that men could do to please their wives even more?
I think men need to learn about the feminine energy. A lot of times, and I've been with a lot of women, and a lot of women complain that men are not skilled sexually. And the reason why men are not skilled sexually is because what they believe that women want is not accurate. Okay. What women want, they want deep, full body orgasmic experiences that are deeply connected. And to do that, you have to raise your masculinity. And you've also got to do things that really impact how a woman feels. So, for example, and what I've heard is in the island culture, like oral sex is not big in terms of men giving women oral sex. Yo, man, like women want the whole experience. You see what I'm saying? Like they want to be impacted in every single way. So as men, you got to learn to hold your seed, You got to learn to be able to, increase the size of your penis using your mind. You got to be able to increase the firmness of your erections using exercises in your mind. You have to learn how to bring a woman to orgasm without touching her. So every man should be able to bring a woman to full orgasm without touching her.
Without touching her?
Yes. So
what did you blow in her air or something like that?
Say what?
You blow in her air? I mean,
no, energy. Women feel energy.
Uh-huh.
So if any woman is honest with you, they'll tell you about an experience they had where a man walked by and they felt a vibration in her womb. Okay. So as men, we're electric. So, when I'm out on a date with a woman, I'm already sending her energy and activating her. So she should be wet before we leave dinner. You feel what I'm saying? And as men, we got to master that skill. If I'm a god on the planet, I don't have to touch things to impact them. So we need to be able to learn to send our energy to women and help them, relax, help them open up, help them be orgasmic. So by the time we actually touch her or kiss her, she's already there. You see what I'm saying? So like the sexual skills that we as men still need to learn. The problem, brother, is that we watch pornography and we try to learn from pornography. Pornography is not sex. Pornography is acting. Those women are not having orgasms. Those women are in pain. They're on pain pills. Most of them are drunk or they're on some kind of drugs. You see what I'm saying? Because it's such a painful experience for them. Just banging a woman is not something pleasurable. Yeah, she likes that after she's had a certain number of orgasms already, after she's been opened up already and she's wet and all that kind of stuff, then yeah, you can get into that. But you have to learn how to engage a woman where she is open, where she is orgasmic before you get into the physical act. Okay? So that's my suggestion for men.
So, I mean, those terminologies are sometimes something that is fairly new to a lot of people's consciousness. When do you start to get that mind vibration, to connect with a woman on that level, that you could put her in that transit kind of emotion before you even lay hands on her? What's the first process? I mean, give us something simple that we could take, that we could practice or try. Some people like to try something.
Well, yeah, it starts with meditation.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It starts with meditation. It also starts with study. And again, a lot of men, for some reason, have stopped studying sexuality. They've stopped studying women. Okay? Why would you, as a man, part of the reason why you're here on the planet is to protect and to please your woman and the women that are in your cipher. Why would you stop studying the feminine? You see what I'm saying? Why would you just be stuck in your own beliefs that you learn in grade school or on a movie or in pornography and use that as the basis for how you engage women? So men need to be studying the feminine. Men believe they're superior to the feminine. They believe the masculine is superior to the feminine. If you have that belief as a man, then you're already lost. Okay. Now, I'm not saying your woman won't get any pleasure from you,
right?
But you haven't submitted yourself to the feminine goddess within her. So you can't even hear or see what she wants or what she desires. And chances are she's not going to tell you because she doesn't trust you with her heart. Again, she can't tell you about how she feels about other men or something that you did in the past or whatever. So she's not going to be able to tell you. So you got to learn to listen to her and watch her and observe her and have a sincere desire to please her. If you don't have that, man, what are you doing? Why are you married to this woman? And you got her in a cage and you're not dedicated to her pleasure and her protection and her upliftment. What are you doing? You see what I'm saying?
Right. So it's just an act. What you're saying, it's just an act. It's just a pretensive act.
You mean monogamous marriage?
Yes.
I mean, my belief from what I've seen and experienced personally and from the clients I've coached and from the research I've done is a lot of it is yes. I'm not saying that everybody's faking everything. I'm not saying that women don't love their men don't love their women. I mean, I'm sure there's love there. What I'm saying is most monogamous marriages, both spouses don't feel they can be completely honest with their partner. And I'm saying that is a problem. Okay, it's a problem because the divorce rate is 55% for a reason. Okay, and most of that's because you're not able to be honest with your partner. And I'm also saying, in addition to that, you're training your children to lie about what they want and to lie to their partner in the future. And we're not improving as a culture. So, yes, I believe, look at the dating scene. Most people put on the mask when they go date somebody, right? They put on their best face and they kind of like front. Women don't feel they can actually be truthful about how many men they slept with. Because men have this messed up belief system that if a woman had too many sexual partners, she can't be a great wife or something, or a great mother or something crazy like that. So women hide their body count. You see what I'm saying? Men hide their. So it's just like we're it's almost like we're insane. That's not the foundation for a strong family. The foundation for a strong family is, look, I'm going to commit to loving you. And what that means is I'm going to fight through my own bullshit. Okay, which means I'm going to, if I fear communicating with you, I'm going to fight through that fear. If I want to judge you because of your past, I'm going to fight through that fear. I'm going to communicate with you. I'm going to try to love you unconditionally. I'm going to fight through my own conditionings. And that's the work of marriage, period, point blank. That's the growth, that the opportunity we have as adult human beings to come into our godhood, our goddesshood. And without that, man, we're just in here wasting time and we're not improving the next generation.
Yeah. And you do have kids, and your kids are growing up and they're seeing the relations, they're seeing other women, they've seen other men coming along. If your kid were to come to you one day and ask you for your advice, a young child, on constructing the relationship, what would your response be?
What, my children?
Yeah.
I've always told, we're honest with our children. You know what I'm saying? Like I tell my son, like, and I have 2 sons and a daughter. I tell them all the same thing. I say, tell the truth about, to your partner about how you feel. I said, don't try to imitate me and your mom. You know what I'm saying? You all probably want to be monogamous. Be monogamous. Period. Don't just do it because we're doing it, but don't be monogamous because you think that's what society wants. And when you have feelings inside your relationship, communicate that with your partner, whether you're married or not. And if they don't accept you for who you are, they're not the right person for you. You see what I'm saying?
But you're saying the same thing. You're saying the same thing that any other parent would tell their child.
But the parents they're not really telling their child to be honest. So if I were to ask that same parent and say, if your daughter had a wet dream about the guy next door, but she's married to her husband, would you, and she has feelings for him, would you advise her to tell the truth to her husband? 99.9% of monogamous parents will say, no, I wouldn't tell my daughter to tell the truth to her husband. I would tell her to keep that a secret. So no, I'm different from them. I'm telling my kids, if your feelings change for your partner, or you have a concern, and you're, even if you have a fear that might not like you anymore, you still have to tell them about it. Okay? Because you have to be real. It's like that movie Scarface. You see what I'm saying? And what brothers say in the streets, you've only got your word as your bond, man. How real you keep it is the measure of your character and integrity in the world. How real are you being with the people that you claim you love the most? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
If you can't be real with them, like, who are you? It means you're lying to yourself. And if you can't love yourself, man, then all hope is lost. You feel me? So I'm telling my kids, keep it real, man. Whatever you feel you want. If you don't want to be married, like my daughter, my son went to college. He's in college right now in Michigan. He's a junior, second semester. My daughter said she didn't want to go to college. She wanted to be an entrepreneur. I said, go for it. Now her other relatives are like trying to press her and force her into college, and a lot of parents do that. And I'm like, no, you're not going to force my child to do something that's not in her heart.
Right.
And if she goes out here and realizes, you know what, Dad, I can't make it out here without a degree, well, go to college then. You see what I'm saying? It's not too late. Go at age 24 or 27, whatever. But follow your heart. I trust when my daughter says, I don't feel I really want to go to college just yet. I trust her, man. It's like, okay, I might not be happy about that. I might want something different for her, but I'm going to encourage her to follow her heart and to communicate that. And because I do that, she tells me about everything. When she has issues with guys or whatever, she's telling me that I need advice. This happened. Mom, I need advice. This happened. Because we keep it 100 with our kids.
Right.
I even tell her, you in the wrong. You see what I'm saying? Like, why'd you tell him to do that? You can't tell a man to do X, Y, and Z. You see what I'm saying? I keep it real.
Right. Well, Carl, a lot of information today, and I'm happy I was able to connect the both sides with you from your point of view and also from your wife's point of view. We have about 5 minutes left. I'll put you on full camera. I'll give you an opportunity to talk to the audience. And what could any person right now do to improve on their relationship? People who are having issues with their situation, with their relationship. Someone come to you for that advice, seeking advice from you. What do you tell them, talk to them?
So I would do two things. One, I would take some time to myself and just kind of meditate or go for a series of walks over the course of, days and weeks, and just really come to terms with what you desire. Even if that desire was something when you were younger, in your 17, 18 or early 20s or whatever, and you kind of buried that. Like, I would just kind of try to come to terms with what you desire, what you like as a person. Okay. So just kind of have that. Then I would suggest that people learn to communicate with their partner. And we wrote a book called Up-Level Communication, spelled UPLVL Communication. It's on Amazon. And that book teaches you how to talk to your husband and your wife, or anybody really, in a way that's honest, but also non-threatening to them. Meaning, the reason why people fear to communicate honestly is because they think they're going to be judged or hated by their partner if they do. This book teaches you how to communicate honestly with your partner. And now all of a sudden you're able to express all these things, and you're going to become closer as a couple when you start doing that. Now, even though your partner might say some things that hurt you initially, over time, you're going to appreciate their honesty, and it's going to bring you closer to them, and it's going to help you open up to them, where now you can be more honest. And now what do we have? We got two adults who are communicating honestly about how they feel and what they desire. And now we're on the way to creating like a dynamic, powerful union that's going to last as long as they want it to. Okay. So I suggest those two things: know yourself, learn yourself, and then learn to communicate. You get the Up-Level Communication book on Amazon.
Absolutely. And listen, I thank you for joining us and sharing your information with us. Again, we're not advocating that anyone change whatever they're in. My friend over there, Sasha Jackson, she said that many people in monogamous relationships aren't 100% honest with their spouse. And I understand all sides of the equation. I completely understand all sides of the equation. I guess the difficult part is to make that transition, that understanding, that consciousness, and that is the most difficult part of it all.
Very difficult.
And
very difficult.
It might work for you, but it may not work for me. Me personally, I don't think I could get jiggy with it. But that's just me. That's just me, right? You're different, and it works for you, and I'm happy that we could get a different part, a different lifestyle, a different information to our audience. So thank you so much, Carl, and tell your wife I said hi.
I will, brother.
You guys open to come back on at any time here to chat with us on the Ride Along Live.
Appreciate it, brother. Have a great one.
Great.
You gotta be firm in this time, son.
Yeah, guys, so that was Carl Stevens And of course, we're going to pay some information. Guys, again, we're not telling anyone that to change your relationship status or change your relationship, whatever you're in. But it's good to have information. It's good to be knowledgeable on all the things that's happening in around your world. Carl and Kenya, they have a number of books that's available on Amazon. And if you guys want to get some more information, we're going to put that link on the ride along as well, so you could go over there and check it out. Now, Hermelin, our good friend Hermelin, I wanted to paste. She's having a relationship type summit, a virtual relationship type summit. I want to put this up there so you guys could check it out. Now, we understand that a lot of people, all right, are going through some issues, some serious issues in their relationship. Let me see if I could pull this up to show you about this event that Hermelin is having. Give me a quick second. And this relationship summit would help you. Hold on, let me get it, guys. Let me get it. I'll put it up and I'll show it to you. All right, there we go. All right, I got it. I got it. So here we go. Yes, so this is a virtual, it's called Get Your Groove Back. It's a virtual relationship summit. Now, this relationship summit, it takes place, it's on Zoom. It's a virtual event, October 9th, 2020. It gives real life and real answers. So I want you guys to check this out, because this is pretty interesting stuff. It deals with communication, how to talk, how to relate. And a lot of people also needs to understand the full extent of how to find that connection with your spouse. This relationship summit, this virtual relationship, 3-day virtual relationship summit will absolutely help you. I want you guys to check that out. So it's called Get Your Groove Back Virtual Relationship Summit. Register for more information. Get the husband, get the wife, and join in the virtual relationship summit. Get your groove back. Yeah, that's from Hermelin Mary Show. One of the hosts of Top 5. It's going to be great. I'm going to register. I'm going to go in there and learn some more stuff. I want you guys to check it out as well. Get your groove back. I never really lost my groove though, but hey, I'll just add to the groove that I already have. Like, get more groove. How about that, Hermelin? Get more groove on top of what you already have. All right? Thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for being a part of our program today. Yeah, Kathy Banks. She enjoyed it. She got good information. Deanna Winter Fund. They get your groove back? Yeah. I don't need groove back. I'm just gonna add on top of the groove I already have. I'll be the grooviest. Marilyn. Dale Charles, big up. Candy Wildman, big up. Veronica Edwards, big up. Sasha, thank you so much. Tomorrow's show, guys. Tomorrow, guys, we have a date tomorrow, right? I don't want you guys to miss out on this. Tomorrow, hey, Doug. Thank you, Doug. Big up yourself. Doug, we have to connect. At the number I called you at, that number I didn't get you. So inbox me a new number. Tomorrow, we have a story that you guys absolutely have to watch. Now, this young man, riddled with bullets, and he's bedridden for the rest of his life. But he's a positive guy, and he definitely has a story to tell. That's tomorrow on the ride. You can't afford to miss this story. It will make you cry. It will make you smile. It will make you laugh. You will go through all different kinds of emotions tomorrow. Join us early tomorrow. We're going to start the show at 10 minutes before the hour, because it's that type of program. Make sure you bring your tissues, because it's that type of program. All right? That's tomorrow. On Wednesday, we have immigration with Deanna Winter Funday. Thursday, right? Thursday. I want you guys to check out the Thursday programming. We have a young lady who is, man, let me tell you, we call this one No Identity. This young lady, she can't find her mother. She don't know her father. She can't get no ID. She don't have a birth certificate. She can't get a passport. She can't get a job. She don't have, She has so much needs right now, and we're going to change a lot of her no's into yes. We're going to change around her reality, and that's on Thursday. Friday, we have Right Trivia. That's a whole week. Right Along Live. Don't forget, Dr. Z comes in on Thursday at 8 a.m. and also on Saturday at 8 a.m. And on Sunday, whole week, Sunday, we have Top 5 at 5 and the Showdown at 8 p.m. Right Along Live, thank you so much. A full week of programming. Also, guys, if you have a story to tell, please inbox us right here on the Ride Along. And also check out emoji.com. I want you guys to go ahead and download emoji.com. Emoji. Do you emoji? Download emoji, spelled E-M-O-O-G-E. Download it in your in the App Store right now. Emoji is spelled like this, E-M-O-O-G-E. Also, guys, we got to big up our sponsors, Waggy Tea Virtual Bingo. Guys, peace out. Catch me tomorrow. This is Right Along Live. Bye-bye.
I will survive, and I'm a firm believer. Are you looking for some early cash for Christmas? Yes! Then join the fun online. Play Waggy Team Virtual Bingo. Because on Sunday, October 4th, from 6 p.m., you can win not 10, not 15, but a whopping $20,000 US cash. And the best part is, tickets are only $20 US. Available at gotofet.com or special box offices island-wide. And if you don't have any idea how to play, then visit our main office at Bruce Street Mall, where one of our agents will go through the process step by step. Remember, Sunday, 4th October, Waggy Tea Virtual Bingo is now $20,000 US. You don't want to miss this.
Hey, I got some good news for you. Looking for a passionate immigration lawyer with experience that spans over 2 decades? Someone trusted that served immigrant families just like yours? Well, look no more. Now you can benefit from her personal and professional experience. Diane Winter Funde. Schedule a consultation now and get assistance with your immigration journey. Specialize in adjustment of status, B1 business visa, B2 visitors visa, consular processing, deportation defense, naturalization, and more. Give us a call today at 813-815-3529. That's 813-815-3529 or online at winterimmigration.com. Attorney Diane Winter Funde. Law done differently.
You're constantly thinking of food, but sometimes you just don't want to cook or want something a little different. That's when you call Tasties, preparing meals that you really love. Tasties, our mouth-watering food, would have you coming back every day. But hold on, we only prepare meals Monday, Wednesday, and Friday for now. Call early because we have a lot to serve and we would love to serve you. Tasties, we prepare the meals you love to eat. From macaroni pie to baked chicken, provision dumpling and saltfish, stewed chicken, curry chicken, baked chicken, rice and peas, salads, and more. Please call for daily menu. Call 425-0624 or 403-0411. You can pick up your meals from us or we deliver to you. Tasties, food that's delicious.